pín ètò yìí torí pé talẹ́ ó wà a little bit emotional. Kí ọba Elédùmarè kí a má rí ikú ọmọdé nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. May Nigeria not happen to me and you. Kọba Elédùmarè kó má jẹ́ kí a sunkún ara wa. A máa ń sọ pé a lè wà far away. We are 6,000 kilometers away from Nigeria. But gbogbo tó ń lọ nínú Nigeria sometimes tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ ó máa kan ẹni tó súnmọ́ wa bí iṣan ẹ̀rùn. Gbogbo tí a fi máa sọ̀rọ̀ lálẹ́ yìí a fi sympathize pẹ̀lú àwọn èèyàn wa tí wọ́n ṣaláìsí ní Bodija bomb blast. Mo láǹfààní àti sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé ìkan náà àwọn ìyá wa tí a jọ ń ṣe Yorùbá nation ọmọ wọn ló ṣaláìsí. Tí ẹ bá ń gbọ́ pé èèyàn kan dé láti London nínú bomb blast tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Ìbàdàn, ọmọ ìyá wa yẹn ló ṣaláìsí nínú bomb blast yẹn. Mo ti rí wọn bá sọ̀rọ̀ ní àárọ̀ yìí. Bàbá wa Olóyè Ìgbòho ti rí wọn bá sọ̀rọ̀ as well. Mo wá ń fi àsìkò yìí mo fi ń rọ mẹ̀lẹ́bí náà pé kọba Elédùmarè kó bá wa dúró ti Granma náà. Kọba Elédùmarè kó dúró ti gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ṣaláìsí náà ní ìlú Ìbàdàn. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Sunday 21st of the month of January nínú oṣù 2024. A máa fún yín ní more information tá bá ń bá ètò yẹn nìṣó. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Nàìjíríà ò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ sí mi, kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ sẹ́yìn, kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ sí gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wa. Àmọ́ tá bá ṣì ń sọ pé a fẹ́ wà nínú Nàìjíríà, kí Nàìjíríà kó má sink wa nígbà tá a expect. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan? Díẹ̀ la máa lè sọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tí Granma bá mi sọ nígbà tí mo bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ láàárọ̀ yìí. Èmi ò ní dárúkọ mọ̀lẹ́bí náà, but mo mọ̀ pé ó ti wà in the public domain. À ń láǹfààní láti yọjú sí mọ̀lẹ́bí náà nínú ọ̀sẹ̀ tí a fẹ́ mú yìí. Kọba Elédùmarè lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí kó má jẹ́ ká rí ikú ọ̀dọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò náà báyìí.
Some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. One or two who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunitions, moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They're already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They're everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2. The phase 2 is they will go into the urban cities, going from house to house, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria. Don't joke with what I'm saying. I have a PhD from Oxford University. I'm a central banker. We don't talk nonsense. So don't joke with what I'm telling you. I have this from the highest possible authority, higher authorities of some of the commanders of the killers and Boko Haram.
You said northern governors, past or present, Dr. Bodija?
No, current. No, they said one of them is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. One of them. And they are not looking for money. They have more than enough money. In fact, he told me they just came back from...
That was the late Dr. Malafia Obadia. Tó jẹ́ kó yé wa pé ìkan àwọn gómìnà northern part of Nigeria ni adarí àwọn Boko Haram. Ó jẹ́ kó yé wa pé tó bá parí iṣẹ́ láabi wọn tó ń ṣe nínú rural area, wọ́n máa jáde síta wá sínú urban area. Bodija is an urban area just like Ikoyi, bí a ti ṣe gbọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí in tí ó wá sínú ọ̀dọ̀ wa àtẹni tí ó mọ̀ Bodija. Mo bá brother mi sọ̀rọ̀ Ìjáyà, ó ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa ń rò pé wọ́n máa wọlé wọ́n máa pa wọ́n lẹ́yọ kọ̀ọ̀kan. Tí a bá wo ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Bodija tó fi mú ẹ̀mí ọmọ Yorùbá lọ àti Granma tí ọmọ wọn ṣaláìsí nínú bomb blast tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìlú Ìbàdàn. Èmi àti Granma a sì sọ̀rọ̀ ní last week. Kódà mo lọ wo chat mi àti wọn again nígbà tí mo rí message wọn láàárọ̀ pé ọmọ àwọn ni ó ṣaláìsí nínú bomb blast yẹn. Ní àárọ̀ ọjọ́ Tuesday tí ṣẹlẹ̀ wọ́n sì send message méjì sí mi kó tó di pé ó ṣẹlẹ̀ lálẹ́. Màláfíà fi tó wa létí pé àwọn tá à ń bá tayò yìí wọ́n máa wọlé pa ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá. Many of us probably took it as nothing. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, a dúpẹ́ fún ọba tó ṣì ń fi ìṣọ́ ẹ̀ṣọ́ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Àwọ̀ ò ní dákẹ́, a ní jẹ́ kó sú wa. Látàárọ̀ I felt weak pé tá bá ní nǹkan máa ṣẹlẹ̀, many of you máa ń rò pé ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà Nàìjíríà nìkan ló máa affect. Ṣé wá rí nísìn pé àtẹ̀yìn àtàwa náà ló jọ affect. Eléyìí tó ṣẹlẹ̀ nísìn la ṣì mọ̀, èwo la túmọ̀ tó ń bọ̀. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ fún gbogbo wa pé Yorùbá nation kò ń ṣeré, Yorùbá nation kò ń ṣe joke. Ó lè dàbí joke fẹ́yìn, but kò ń ṣe joke fáwa. It's a serious situation that is taking lives. Ojoojúmọ́ ni Nàìjíríà mú ẹ̀jẹ̀, and there is no way out than kólúkálukú máa lọ nílùú ẹ̀. A ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ wọnú ètò ni àìtí dé.
Àrò ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ gbogbo ọjọ́ wá sí àrò ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́. Àwọn tó mú kọ́tò náà wáyé má ṣe pé o, ṣùgbọ́n má jẹun rẹ̀ ó pọ̀fù. Gbogbo ń tọ́ pátápátá àrò ní ọmọ àrò mọ́. Wọ́n máa fèkì ṣe lọ́lé, wọ́n máa ẹ̀kọ́ àti ọ̀gá Jèhófà. Ọmọ Adéyẹmọ o, ọjọ́ òní ọjọ́ tó lápẹ̀rẹ̀ gidi gan-an ni fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá dàda. Ṣé orí ni ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ọba ti pọ̀ ọ̀tá ìbáyọ̀ wọn ní alákọ̀ọ́rí ọmọ ti lọ wò ó èyí tí wọ́n rò yíyẹ̀ tolúwọ ọba ńlọ kúkú sẹ́. Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ṣàṣẹ́bẹ̀ lọ wà ọ̀gá máa dúpẹ́ Olódùmarè ọba òkúri. Tí ọba ti tàbí wòlé kọ́jú òní ó tó pé kọ́ kí lọ mẹ́wàá láàrin àwọn ọmọ adarí mú gan. Tàbí tí ọba ti tàbí kí ọmọ láàrin ìgbẹ́ kí lọ máa ṣẹ̀dá òfin ìró. Ọjọ́ máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ alágbẹ̀dẹ àyànmọ́ ọba tó fi ọ́ dára tó dùn. Ọmọ Adéyẹmọ o, ìwọ náà kọ́ Olódùmarè ọba ní kí ọlá lùgbẹ́. Sunday o, jáwé máa gbọ́ àwọn tí gbogbo ọmọ Adéyẹmọ o dé wọn mọ́lẹ̀ pátápátá wọn ò lè mí mọ́ o ti kó wọn láyà jẹ́ kó o lè sóge wọ́n ṣẹ̀rù bà wọ́n ọjà wọn láyà wọn ò lè mí fín mọ́ o ti fi ògbójú lápá ipá òru ní èyẹ dànù. Ọmọ Adéyẹmọ tó pọ̀ bá tiẹ̀ ọmọ ọpọlọ ogun máa lè ìwọ náà bí bàbá dojú sí àṣìkò bí àbá ṣe sí ẹja fọ kí ni bẹ nínú ọ̀gán ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ti dún mọ̀wúrú bí ọ̀pánikọ́ pani bí ọ̀bá ní pani kó yé dún mọ̀wúrú. Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ó ti di bí àná yìí yé ẹjẹ ọmọdé mú ewé kókò tó bá lè bí ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá fẹ́ fọyà kó máa fọyà gbèrègbèrè sàǹgbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ máa fọ́ọ̀kù ẹni ẹ bá wọ bẹ́ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ti di bí àná yìí ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ wo ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ṣá yé orí ìyá pé ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà ọmọ ọkọ ní ọ̀hún ṣéun bẹ́ẹ̀ lọmọ ọkọ ṣe ìwọ lọ́pàá gàmbarí nípa ìsìn Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ọ̀pá gàmbarí nípa ẹ̀sìn ọ̀pọ̀ fúlàní náà ẹgbẹ́ tó ló gbọ́ ya ó ní kí ọmọ jáde gbòòrò sà ọ̀pẹ̀lẹ̀ bàbá rẹ lọ òròlù ọmọ fẹ̀lá ọ̀lẹ́nilé mo sùn lẹ́ẹ̀kan ọmọ àjàtẹ̀ yẹn jẹ́ sílẹ̀ bàbá rẹ mo dé gbọ́dọ̀ àárín òde ọwọ́ di méjì tìbá rẹ̀ ta àlọ́ di méjì tìbá rẹ̀ gbàgẹ̀dà ní ó di méjì tìbá rẹ̀ gbẹ̀dínlógún ó kan ilà àárọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní gbogbo ilé ìwọ sàgàdà nínú bí àwọn rẹ̀ ọmọ gbọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́kọ̀ ilé ní sọ́wọ́ akọ̀níṣẹ́ ọlọ́kọ̀ ilé ní ìgbàlẹ̀ ọmọ adéyẹmọ Sunday ọ̀pọ̀ sàmà kú ogun ní nánilógún ogun ló nílé àárọ̀ ogun ni wọ́n fi jagun dẹ́gbọ́n jẹ́ bóògùn wọ̀nyí ẹ̀jẹ̀ anira wa lóògùn ọ̀nà Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ọ̀sà lónìí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá gbòmìnira dandan ni máa wá gbọ́ o ẹ̀ṣẹ́ ìlànà lọ́dún mọ́lẹ̀ ni ọmọ ìlú ọmọ adéyẹmọ o dákun mọ́lẹ̀ làwọn oníṣẹ́ ẹbí ẹ̀tọ́ kálukú má fi dùn wọ́n orí kálukú ló gbé ọdẹ́kọ̀ tó dùn wọ́n á máa gbọ́ o gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tàtà ń tẹ́wá lóye ẹja fọwọ́pọ̀ ká gbé ẹni tó wá fi sẹ́ ká gbé lárugẹ gidi ni ẹni méjì wọ̀ wọn ò dùn ẹjọ́ òròdù lọ sí ibà méjì kọ́ o ẹni tó wá fi sẹ́rán ọ̀gẹ́tọ̀ sí ẹni tó fara wọn Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ tó fara tiwa akọni tiwa akọni jagunjagun ọkùnrin tarararara gbọdọ̀kẹ́lẹ́ ọmọ adéyẹmọ wọn a máa gbọ́ wọn fẹ́ sàgbà kan fún wọn ni ẹni tó bá ní kó òkú ní kékeré kó máa fọwọ́ àwọn síra wọn wọ́n ní kàkọ́ máa sọ àrẹ kókó dànù ìmọ̀jọ́ ayọ́yẹ pọ̀ ní kú lọ́wọ́ ọmọ gbá kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ìdáhọ́ ilé ọmọ gbẹ̀yìn agbẹ̀dẹ òsì pàtàkì òní kúrò òdòkó tẹ̀ máa gbọ́ àwọn bàbá rẹ tó ti wà níbùgbé ìdájọ́ wọn máa fọwọ́ tí ọ gẹ́gẹ́ ni àwọn alágbára jagun tí wọ́n ní jagun ṣáájú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wọn máa fi ọtí ọ gẹ́gẹ́ ni Oòduà Ọlọ́fin Ọbàtálá Báṣọ̀run Àjàká Àjàngẹ̀tẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹ̀fọ́fọ̀fẹ́rì nánàfọ́fúnjá òun lẹ̀ mẹ́rù ọmọdé kò ní ìjọba aborílá ọmọdé kòkó alùpùpù àbá àkùkù ògèdè gbé ẹgbẹ́gbùngbùrù olè jẹ́ sàgbé. máa gbọ́dọ̀ sẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ ń bọ́ sàkó tí mọ́ọ̀gùn làyà wáyé náà ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ Ìgbòho sáńpọ̀ ló ti rí gbẹ̀gbẹ̀gbẹ̀ tiẹ̀ ṣe ọ̀gbárùgbọ̀ lárúgbó lọ́dún gbọ́dọ̀ rè jó òkun lẹ̀yà ọ̀sẹ̀ pẹ̀yìn rí kẹ́dẹ́ máa ń dè bàbá rẹ lọ òrùkàtàrí gbàgbàgbàgbà kani ọmọ ní bàbá rẹ lọ alárúgbó parúmọ Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ ní oṣù olùkọ́ òde gbangba Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ wọ́n ti dìbò bọ́ọ̀dù wọ́n ti wà lókè ẹni bá ní ọjà kọ́kọ́ máa kú ni máa gbọ́ o tó orí má bẹ̀rù ọ̀tẹ̀ mọ́ orí ní gbogbo fùrùfùrù labalábá tí wọ́n ń dìbò lẹ́kùn Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho sà orí bí wọ́n ti ń wọṣọ àkísà máa gbọ́ o yẹ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà bá lóye akọ́dà ayé ọgbọ́ ọmọ adéyẹmọ ní ẹ̀dá àpòwọ́tì àti yìí bẹ̀bí tọ́jú lápẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹ̀dá àpọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ èmi tún ẹ̀wọ̀ òjùmí kò lè gbé wa débi kankan pa akọ́dà ayé ọgbọ́ ẹ̀dá àpọ̀ ká bí ẹni tó ń wọ́n fi sẹ́ni lárugẹ ni ẹ máa bá òní bó ń ṣe wọ́n lápára òní ni igi igbó sórí ipò wọ́n dìgbẹ́ ẹ̀rí ni àwọn àgbàlagbà wọ́n ní bí orí bá dúró tọrùn inú déyìn ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ gan ni Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ yé máa bá ọjọ́ òní ọjọ́ burúkú tọ́jú lápẹ̀rẹ̀ ni ṣùgbọ́n àwọn tí wọ́n ṣerú wẹ̀ wọn ò lè mú jẹ́ má ṣe pé ṣùgbọ́n nu rẹ̀ gbogbo ń tọ́ ọba tó ń pátápátá ìmọ̀lẹ̀ thank you àrò ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ gbogbo ń tọ́ ọba tí àrò ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ àwọn sọ fún pẹ́jọ́.
mo kí gbogbo wa pé àtúkù ìsinmi tèní èní ṣì ní January inú ọdún tuntun tí a ṣì wà nínú ẹ̀ ọdún tí bọ́bá ṣì ń sọ fún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa pé a lot of things is going to happen in this year. Afẹ́ tó bá parọ́ fúnra wọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwa wà aware of so many things that is going to happen and what is still going to happen. But àdúrà tá kàn ń gbà náà ni pé kò sí bí a ṣe fẹ́ ṣe àfi tá bá ń parọ́ fúnra wa. Bí àtúrà wa máa ń rí a lot of things tí ó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lágbàáyé, especially when we can see the atrocity tó ń lọ ní Palestine. Approximately 24,000 people have died. Ó ti ń lọ almost 30,000 in the last 100 days. That indicates that whether we like it or not, mo sọ ní about almost precisely a week ago, bí a kí ṣẹlẹ̀ ti bomb blast yẹn tó ṣẹlẹ̀ or not. Mo ní ìyàwó kan wà ní outside the country, and what they are saying from the spiritual side, 1 million people will die ká tó gba Yoruba nation. Ẹ lọ mú yẹn sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́, kò sí nǹkan tá máa ṣe sí. 1 million people will die. Eléyìí ló pé ẹ lórúkọ Jésù, lórúkọ Ànábì, 1 million of people will gonna die. Just take it or leave it. 1 million Yoruba people will die ká tó dé gba Yoruba nation. If otherwise, we will be in Nigeria and that death will still happen. So it's better we face the reality and accept our fate and fight this all the way through. We ended the program last night, and I believe after Takpari program alẹ́ àná, lóru àná, I was still awake up to some minute past 5 a.m. I sent out an audio across different platforms, and it was only this morning ni mo rí out of thousands of messages tó ń wọlé fún wa ní almost on a daily basis, but message tó bá wá la máa rí ló máa pop up sókè. Èyí tó bá ti pẹ́ tẹ́ bá ti send another message a máa lọ sísàlẹ̀. I sent a message tí mo record yẹn, mo send ẹ̀ sí Granma as a forwarded message. It was only this morning she replied back and say, ṣé n tèmi máa fi response sí ikú ọmọ àwọn nìyẹn? I thought maybe àwọn náà ṣe mistake send the message bí àìmí kọ́ ló fi send ẹ̀ sí. And I went back and I read a message that she sent to me. I will not give too much of the details, but I will explain as much as what I've been told, just for clarity, because I'm on incident Bashele. The family are still mourning. Like I said, I will be visiting the mother hopefully this week coming, like Borolong. I now went back láti ka message tí Grandma fi ránṣẹ́ sí mi. Many of us have seen the picture. I'm not going to show the picture of the boy or the man. He's 39 years old. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa ti rí picture yẹn, so I am not going to show you the picture on this platform. But what she sent was for me to communicate the message to Professor Banji Akintoye, to CSI, Osha Chief, Koiki, Darling Ade Omobori Owo Adeniyi, Yeyedara, Baba Ekiti, Professor Wole Soyinka, and Omoluka Lady K Feoluwa. These are the names that she actually wrote in the message communicated to me. And the message goes like this. This is to tell the entire Yoruba nation that I am very sad to tell you that the London returning guy is one of my twins. I will omit the name. That went to Ghana for his friend's wedding. Ghana ló lọ. Kí ló lọ ṣe ní Nigeria? I will tell us a little bit. Who came back for his usual annual holiday, just like báwa náà ṣe máa ń lọ ká sáré lọ Nigeria, a fẹ́ lọ holiday, a fẹ́ lọ ṣe nǹkan kan. Something take us back home, because Nigeria, from what we are told, is meant to be our home, and was killed in at the Bodija, Ibadan last week Tuesday, 16th of January 2024. 48 hours before then, I spoke to the mother, which was on the 13th and on the 14th. Èmi àti wọn ṣe communicate on the 13th. Mo kàn ń jẹ́ kẹ́ mọ̀ how close the mother of the late ẹ̀gbọ́n wa tó kú yìí, àbúrò wa tó kú yìí, how close, just like many of our atajọ́ ń ṣe Yorùbá, mo sọ fún yín pé we are not ghosts. I have been demoralized since the 16th of January 2024. I will leave her name out of the broadcast as well, just to respect the family. But like I said, she's not the only one mourning. Àwọn tó kú náà ní Ìbàdàn, ọmọ Yorùbá ni wọ́n, àwọn èèyàn wa náà ni. But again, as usual, our government, our governors, our representatives, they failed us. This should have been averted. This shouldn't have happened. But it did. Then she sent another message. This is the picture of one of my twins. I will again omit the name for the family of the late that died at the Bodija, Ibadan, who came from holiday from London, but he died in that incident. I'm not going to go into other things that she told me, but it was a lot of things that she explained and communicated with me. We spoke for a very long time. Luckily, I was able to get through to CSI that also spoke to her. What can we do? We just have to accept the bí ó ṣe wù Elédùmarè. Fún ẹni tó ń gbé ní London to travel on Nigeria, for whatever reasons, I can confirm that ó níyàwó, ó fọmọ sílẹ̀. But that is it. I won't go into other details that was communicated with me. It is not for the public consumption. The question again is, who is next? With this kind of, let's even accept the narrative of the governor. Let me give us what the governor said that I picked up as their latest update from the crime scene in Ibadan. And I'm not trying to exaggerate now. I am just going with the narrative of the state governor, even though I will not agree with such narrative. But let's just play the devil advocate here. Into Shele, based on the internal governance of Funwa. Let me first maybe start with what the governor said just after the incident, because I will classify that as an incident, even though incident were avoidable, but because we don't have a government. And this is our cry, that Ile Yoruba ni government. Our government died. Láti ìgbà tí wọ́n ti pa the regional government. We don't have the government anymore. We literally don't have a government. So let's go with, before I give you the update, which has now become 4 hours ago, let's take us back to the event that unfolded. I picked up the information that something was happening in Ibadan as it was breaking. Koda, I was, because like I always say, I don't have a studio, so I have a mobile studio. That means I was setting up as I was breaking the news, because breaking news is not something you have to break it as it's happening, so that maybe you can save more lives. Because in the moment here, and they are not conversant with what is happening in Nigeria, so most of them are now glued to platforms like our own, so that so that so that that was the reason why we were rushing to break the news. And I did break the news, but it took the governor of the state hours, because I believe he's not in the state as at the time of the incident, but backlash, don't attend events and new join. So the governor eventually found himself back to the state. Latile shalaye fún wọn tó ṣẹlẹ̀. This is what the governor said on that day.
I would like you to the fact that you have illegal miners trying to expose around the state. We've always said to people that when you see something, say something, and then the authorities should be able to do something. This is quite unfortunate. At this stage, it's just to rescue anyone that is still under the rubble here, and also the people that have been taken to the hospital to give them care, and also some of the people who have their houses destroyed, provide temporary accommodation for them at hotels within the city. And then in the morning, we definitely will continue the investigation. The affected families, I'll say, the government is here. We will support them in the recovery effort. But most importantly, we will react appropriately to this incident. It's just it's devastating. It's something that it's difficult to wrap one's head around this.
That was the governor speaking. You can go on his Twitter feed and listen to it. It's just to reference it to the program in case you can't hear it. That is not a big issue. You can go on the Twitter of the governor and listen to that video. Now, let me bring us up to speed of what the governor or the government of Oyo State is telling us in the last 4 hours. Update on the Bodija incident. I commend our security agencies in Oyo State who have been maintaining law and order in and around Bodija this week, and as well as residents who have been complying with the directives of the officers. Yesterday, the medical team at the Emergency Operations Center and the Honorable Commissioner for Health visited 2 of the hospitals where victims from the incident were taken, and over 90% of the victims have been discharged. The death toll from the incident currently stands at 5 persons. Out of the 5, one of them is a London-based that is a family of the Yoruba nation. Though àwọn tó wà nílé náà, they are Yoruba people, but this particular family táwa ń sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí nísìn, they are full member of our family as a Yoruba nation. The clinical psychologist has commenced counseling for victims of the incident at the Emergency Operations Center in Ibadan. The operations at the Ground Zero have moved from search and rescue to recovery. Let me use this opportunity to thank the Nigerian Society of Engineers who have been carrying out structural integrity tests on about 230 properties around the site of the explosion. 13 houses within 50 meters radius of the blast site, 40 houses at 100 meters radius, 122 houses at 200 meters radius, 53 houses within the 250 meters radius. We are also grateful to my brother, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for releasing the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, to support us and for the assistance offered by the team led by Engineer Olatunde Akinsanya, the Director of Operations. The security agencies are still investigating the incident, and an update on their investigation will be published. We are looking forward to see the full review of such. Our administration remains committed to supporting all victims of these unfortunate incidents and ensuring that everyone responsible is brought to book. Please contact the Emergency Operations Center on 070-499-48057 or 08147672009 for any issues related to the Bodija incident. That update is coming from Oyo State government in the last 4 hours. Literally Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 days after the event. In the next 48 hours, Tuesday next week will be a week of such a sad event in Yoruba land. Ìbéèrè tí mò ń bi gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ni pé ta ló tún kàn tí irú ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ báyìí tó máa tún ṣẹlẹ̀. Irú ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ báyìí ṣẹlẹ̀ lójoojúmọ́, but kò wá sórí public domain. Àwọn ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí a ti ń sọ for the last 3 years. Bí ẹlẹ́lòmíì rántí Ọ̀wọ̀ massacre tó ṣẹlẹ̀ mọ́, because we have moved on away from there. Kódà church ọ̀hún gan ti padà, the St. Francis Catholic Church ní Ọ̀wọ̀. Many of us will probably not remember Igogan, where we lost lives and properties. The same Ọ̀yọ́ náà nìyẹn. Dr. Fatai Aborode, many of us have moved on. Or Colonial or something like that. Many atrocities across the southwest. Tí bá ṣe kàn máa sọ̀rọ̀ náà lélẹ̀ tá máa jáde. How do we hold our representative accountable for not able to present and prevent all these calamities that is glaring in the eyes of every one of us? You need a lot of intelligence to tackle problems. But unfortunately, we are not getting such within the territorial ground known as the fake country that was created for the business venture àwọn Britain. Àti bẹ̀ àwọn olóṣèlú wa, we have pleaded with them. We have asked them kí lè ṣe wá gan gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tó fi di pé wọ́n take àbólẹ̀ Yorùbá serious. Kí ló dé tó jẹ́ pé tó bá ti di kẹ́ dáàbò bò wá, ẹ̀yin nìkan lè fi dáàbò bò ara yín pẹ̀lú àwọn tó ní owó díẹ̀díẹ̀. Ìyàwó mi bi mí pé àwọn olótún pè ní àwọn mọ̀pó. Mo ní ọmọ mọ̀pó ni. Mo ní mọ̀pó náà bí àwọn bí sójà náà ni, because àwọn tó ní owó ló ráyè gba security, but àwa tá à ní owó, àwa mẹ̀kúnnù tálákà, we rely on the government to provide security for us and prevent a lot of things tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ presently, but it seems they are not doing that. Wọ́n ní ká dìbò fún wọn láti 1999 pé a ti padà sínú ìjọba alágbádá. Ìjọba alágbádá iṣẹ́ tó wà fún ni pé democracy, government of the people and for the people. For 23 years, you can play back and ask yourself, what has been the impact of democracy in Nigeria? What has the impact? Kí ni impact yẹn gangan pé a padà sí ìjọba alágbádá? Because we thought that we were enslaved in the military administration to run for a very long time. Kó tó di pé wọ́n da gbogbo ẹ̀rú tí a rí ìjọba gbà padà ní 1993 after the election tí Babangida tó àná. There was some skirmish of fight, pressure. Yoruba takú wọn náà wọ́n ní ṣe mọ́. Wọ́n tún deceive àwa Yoruba. Wọ́n ní ká má tí ì lọ. Ẹ ṣe jẹ́ ká ṣìjọ máa ṣe Nàìjíríà, àmọ́ à á sọ àwọn díẹ̀ nù yín dolówó. À á fún yín ní access sí inú kókó ọbẹ̀ táwa náà jọ ń jẹ yìí. Ẹ mọ̀ pé àwọn military nìkan ló ń jẹ tẹ́lẹ̀, yàtọ̀ sáwọn tó wà lábẹ́ wọn tọ́jọ́ ń bá wọn ṣe. So àwọn military bá gbádá wọ́n bọ́ ká kíkẹ́ sílẹ̀, wọ́n gbé fún civilian ní 1999. Gbogbo wa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí jubilate. Inú wa ń dùn pé a ti padà sí democracy. 23 years thereabout after, what has been the benefit of this democracy gangan? Kí láǹfààní tá jẹ níbẹ̀ àti pé kí láǹfààní gan tá fẹ́ jẹ nínú ẹ̀? Ṣé bí a ṣe wá ń béèrè gbogbo àwọn kinní, ṣé ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ni? Àti pé tó bá jẹ́ṣẹ̀, what do we do and what are we going to do so that àwọn tí wọ́n ní ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ni bí a ká lè lọ bẹ̀ wọ́n, or ṣé ọba Elédùmarè dá wa fún ìyà ni? The event of Bodija should have been avoided if we were having the state police, because every crime is local. Gbogbo crime is local, but according to the 1999 fraudulent constitution, kò allow state police, but the same constitution allow pé resources orílẹ̀-èdè state kankan, bóyá concurrence list ló ń pè ní or whatever tó ń pè, ó wà lábẹ́ federal. That means pé wá àtàn sọ pé a ní mùdùnmúdùn tó jẹ́ nǹkan mìíràn torí pé ìlú kọ̀ọ̀kan ní gbogbo àgbáyé ni Elédùmarè create nǹkan sí, ó yàtọ̀ síra wọn ni. In tó wá create sí state kọ̀ọ̀kan ní gbogbo Nàìjíríà kò wá sí lábẹ́ àwọn governors wa, ó wà lábẹ́ àwọn federal ní center. àwọn yẹn wá take advantage, they gave it out fẹ́ni tí ó ní network àtẹni tó ní connection. Kò ń ṣe pé ọmọ Yorùbá náà lè mine gold, ṣèbí wọ́n máa train wa náà ni. Àdẹ̀ra technology àti equipment láti máa fi mine àwọn kùsà tá a sọ yìí àtàwọn nǹkan míì bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. But rather I prefer pé ká gbé lọ sí outsider. Mo ní fídíò tó wà lọ́wọ́ mi tí a gbé síta torí pé tá bá jù síta it will create a lot of problems. I have been saying this ever since I came back from Nigeria 2 years ago. It is properly archived. But the evidence that gbà níjọ́ yẹn mà tí Olóyè Ìgbòho lẹ́nu arákùnrin tó ń ṣe méjì tó ń ṣe mẹ́ta tá bá nídìí ibi tó ti ń wakùsà á bá wọn ní kò ń ṣe pé wọ́n ò mọ̀ páwa ń bọ̀. Wọ́n operate. It's a big company. Wọ́n dẹ̀ fún wa ní evidence in voice and in paper, plus other things I don't want to go into, because we made a call from there. See anything I want so, and there was a confirmation that low Tony, and that's the reason why we cannot release the video out. Taba wontono ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Bodija. Inti governor yẹ kó yé wa ni pé illegal miner ni wọ́n, and we go with that narrative. Later I realized pé àwọn tó ń sọ pé illegal miner ni wọ́n yìí, they are not illegal miner. They are known to the system. Kódà wọ́n register. Kódà evidence wà tí a rí record tó wá láti Abuja pé wọ́n operate lóòótọ́ officially, wọ́n wà registered. Kódà ààrẹ arákùnrin kan tó jáde pé àwọn náà ti ń sanwó fún gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì but kò ń ṣọmọ Yorùbá ni wọ́n, but orí territory tiwa, ilẹ̀ tiwa ló ti operate. Kò jọ èmi lójú. I am not surprised, because èyí tí mo sọ tí mo ń tẹnumọ́ yẹn, ìyẹn nìkan ni wọ́n fún mi láyè pé kí n máa tẹnumọ́. Èyí tó kù tá a sọ rárá ó wà nínú archive. Kò ń ṣe méjì, kò ń ṣe mẹ́ta, kò ń ṣèrìn àjò ọ̀sán ni mò ń sọ tá lọ yìí. Ìmí ọ̀gànjọ́ òru, ìmí ìdájí tá kò máa jí lọ, and so many things like that, but that is not for the public. Ẹ rò pé tá bá jáde tá ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, ẹ mọ̀ ẹlòmíà máa wò pé bí àsọdùn, but àsọdùn yẹn ní 2 years now tó padà wá ṣe jàǹbá fún àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá àtẹni tó ń bẹ nílé àti Granma tó wà nílùú òyìnbó. Irú kí la fẹ́ sọ fún Granma nísìn pé ọmọ wọn lọ sílé, kò kúkú ń ṣèlú tó máa kọ́kọ́ lọ nìyẹn. Ṣé mọ̀ pé nínú kan ta kà ó lọ Ghana, kò máa kú sí Ghana, ó wá padà wá sórílẹ̀-èdè bàbá ẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ṣe máa ń pera wa lọ́mọ Nàìjíríà. Inú Nàìjíríà ló wá padà kú sí. Lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ìtawà máa kà á sí ni pé bó ṣe wọn lọ́hùn nìyẹn, kò sí ta fẹ́ ṣe sí. But such an incident tí ó ti di incident nísìn, ó dẹ̀ ti di crime scene. Ṣá àkọ́kọ́ tí gọ́vnà máa gbọ́ létí nìyẹn pé wọ́n ṣe illegal mining ní Ọ̀yọ́, ìyẹn ìbéèrè àkọ́kọ́. Ṣé bàbá wa gómìnà engineer Ṣèyí Mákindé wọ́n ever gbọ́rí, wọ́n ríyàn kankan fún wọn ní secure, because tírú àwa bá ń gba security report ní frequently, ní ìtawà náà rí èmi àtolóyè, ní ìtẹ̀yìn náà ń gbọ́ ní Ọ̀yọ́ ni mò ń sọ yo, àtẹ̀ tí kúrò nínú other state inú Ọ̀yọ́. Ṣé gọ́vnà gbọ́ kò ọ̀ ever gbọ́ rí pé àwọn kan máa ń ṣe illegal mining, kọ́ dẹ̀ pé àwọn tẹ́ ẹ kọ́ pè l'Abuja pé àwọn tẹ́ fún ní license àtẹni tẹ́ fún ní license àbí báwo, because àwọn wo ni wọ́n ní guts láti wá sórí ilẹ̀ wa. Ká tẹ̀ sọ pé ọwọ́ federal náà ni ó wà, gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ti ṣe gbọ́ pé constitution ti gbé agbára fún federal lórí in tó wà lórí ilẹ̀ wa, because àwọn governor bó ṣe wà yẹn wọn ò ní access láti ṣe nǹkan kan lórí ilẹ̀ yẹn. In tó bá máa ṣe wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ consult federal láti lè ṣe. That is part of the crime ti constitution tí wọ́n pè ní 1999 tó ń ṣe fún wa. Now tí governor bá tẹ̀ wá lè pàṣẹ based on the fact that federal ni, but kí ni governor gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe lórí àwọn nǹkan àmúlùmálà tó ń bẹ lórí ilẹ̀ wa nínú Ọ̀yọ́ state? Ṣé bàbá engineer Ṣèyí Mákindé àwọn ever kò sí ní kankan tó ta wọ́n lómi jí pé ní area kan àwọn kan kóra wọn jọ síbẹ̀, wọ́n sùn wọ́n gbé níbẹ̀, àwọn kan gbé níbẹ̀, àwa bọ́ọ̀sì wọn mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni so many times. Wọ́n à ní kúkú lọ pẹ̀lú ariwo débi pọ́n máa mọ̀ pa ń bọ̀, but we cut them right tó ń ṣe different locations nínú Ọ̀yọ́ state ni mo ń sọ yìí. So many of them are operating, kódà wọ́n operate débi pé tí kò bá ń ṣe pé irú àwa tá jẹ́ ọmọlẹ́yìn bàbá wa Olóyè Ìgbòho tó bá dá lọ síbẹ̀ nígbà míì, right, tó bá jẹ́ pé ìwọ nìkan ló kọ lọ, the military tó wà lẹ́yìn wọn, they will kill you right on the spot and you are dead. Fact ni mo sọ fún yín nísìn, ẹ gbọ́ mi dáadáa. Àwọn sójà tó fún wọn, they are meant to kill on the spot and bury you. Ọmọ apáì. Bọ̀ nítorí pé táwa bá yọ sí wọn tọ́dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé àwọn tó dé yìí náà ṣe mọ̀ pé ó ti dọ̀rọ̀ ẹ ṣe sùúrù pẹ̀lú wa, àwa náà wà ní bíbá, ẹ̀tọ́ tó fún wa la fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní bíbá. So they are operating. So gbogbo tí gómìnà sọ yìí ó ń ṣì ṣọ́ọ̀kì mi pé gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé kò ṣe pọ́nṣẹ̀ débẹ̀ lánàá. It's been there for like 2 years now. At least ìwọ̀nba tèmi náà rí ní ọ̀ba 6 months tí mo lò ní Nàìjíríà. Mama wonder nísìn pé the governor is saying that he doesn't know what is going on in the state. Then kí ni àǹfààní àwa níjọba? Ṣé mọ̀ pé olóyè náà máa ń sọ tábà níjọba tíjọba ò ṣe ìdáàbòbò fún wa, aráàlú á ṣe ìdáàbòbò fún rẹ̀. Ṣé mọ̀ pé olóyè ti sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn nínú àwọn videos wọn kan tó ti ṣe? Because we expect our governors to protect us so that irú Granma nísìn tọmọ wọn ṣaláìsí nínú Bodija bomb blast yìí àbí illegal mining lọ́pẹ́ or whatever the governor is calling it, kí la fẹ́ fi compensate ìyá yẹn nísìn ní ọmọ ọdún mélòó? Níbo ni kò ti bẹ̀rẹ̀? Kí la máa sọ fún family àwọn tí wọ́n ṣaláìsí àtẹni tó wà nílé? Ààyò ẹni tó wà nílé kúrò náà, ẹ má rò pé ẹni tó wà lábroad nìkan là ń wà concern, but èmi ò mọ àwọn tó kú nílé, mo kàn mọ̀ wọ́n gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Yorùbá. But ẹni tá à ń sọ pé ó kú yìí nísìn, èmi àti Granma ní relationship in the sense that ìrìn àjò táwa gbé dání tá à ń pè ní polongo self determination ló jẹ́ kémi àti wọn ká mọ́ra tá ti di family àti gbogbo àwa tájọ́ ń ṣe program tájọ́ ń ṣètò yìí. Ìyẹn mo ṣe ń sọ fún àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá pé ẹ má máa rò pé àwa tá wà nílùú òyìnbó kò kàn wá. Bó ṣe kàn yín ló ń kàn wá, because eléyìí tó kàn yín nísìn ní Bodija, èmi tí mo wà ní London níbi tí mo jókòó sí láti àárọ̀ mo kàn ń rọ́jú pé kí la máa ṣe sí. Mo sùn tì kó tó di pé mo lọ wẹ̀ nírọ̀lẹ́ yìí tí ìyàwó mi ṣáà mo gbọ́dọ̀ fi nǹkan sínú ká jẹun. Níbo ni kí Granma ti bẹ̀rẹ̀? Ìyàwó tó fi sí London, àwọn ọmọ tó fi sí London, àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n, àwọn àbúrò, àwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí. Accident happen, plane kan ti crash ní between Russia Afghanistan lẹ́ni, 7 people died. We accept things such happen, but ṣé eléyìí tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí was it something that we can prevent? Òun ni question tí mo kàn béèrè, because tó bá yẹ pé nǹkan ta lè prevent, then kí ni a ṣe fail láti prevent ẹ̀ débi pé èmi àwa máa lọ kí grandma pé ọmọ wọn ṣaláìsí, ọmọ 39 years old. ṣe rí pọ́rọ̀ yẹn ó sound very difficult. ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ fún yín tẹ́ wà nílùú òyìnbó. I don't want to be the one to scare you. torí program tèmi ẹ ti convert sí pé èmi mo fẹ́ da Nàìjíríà rú. ẹ ti lébẹ́lì mi àti Ìgbòho, kódà ẹni mi àti Ìgbòho gangan la instigate violence nínú Nàìjíríà. mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ pé each time tèmi àti olóyè bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ on one tájọ́ ń bára wa sọ̀rọ̀ bí ẹ̀gbọ́n àtàbúrò, he always say to me, just ignore them. And I think I listen to that advice, because ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ k'Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè kó dáríjì yín. That's all I will say. k'Ọlọ́run kó dáríjì yín fún nǹkan tẹ́ ń sọ lẹ́nu, nítorí pé mọ̀ tẹ́ ń sọ lẹ ṣe ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. ẹlòmíì rò pé bóyá torí àwọn wá sórí social media àwọn ń sọ̀rọ̀, àwa ni ẹ fún wa lówó, ẹ dáwó fún wa, bí i torí ẹlẹ́rìí ṣe ń kúkú castigate wa. èmi ò ń ṣe ẹni tó ṣẹ̀ jápa tó ṣẹ̀ dé. jápa tèmi 25 years ago ó máa pé lọ́dún yìí tèmi ti jápa. èmi ti stable, mo ti stabilize at least to some extent. tí mo ò bá ṣiṣẹ́ nílùú yìí for the next 1 year, kò ń ṣe pé mo fi ń dẹnu, I am still gonna be okay. 1 year ni mo sọ, kí n kò máa sùn, kí n máa jí, kí n máa sùn, kí n máa jí, kí n máa ṣiṣẹ́, I'll be okay. Because kò ń ṣe pé màá lọ ṣe crime, but I am still in the enabling environment tó yẹ pé nínú ilé tí mo wà yìí mo lè create content níbi tí social media dádélé ní, kó dẹ̀ máa sanwó tí màá fi jẹun, tí dẹ̀ máa wò, màá kọ́ máa gbọ́ news, màá máa mutí, èmi náà máa jókòó. ìbẹ́yìn kan nísìnyí, ẹbí kan tẹ́yìn kan ṣe nísìnyí ẹ̀ tẹ́ ń criticize àwa, ṣèbẹ́yìn kan jókòó nísìnyí, ẹ̀yin wo program ẹ̀ ń criticize wa, táwa ń take risk on a daily basis, because ó náà pé ẹ̀yin ò mọ risk. Okay, ẹni tó lọ́lé nísìnyí tí jàǹbá yìí dé bá wọn, ṣé mọ̀ pé they could have gone and come back and nobody would have known pé family kan travel. bá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí àwọn kan ti wà nínú flight tó ń lọ sí Nàìjíríà báyìí for so many reasons. ẹlòmíì kọ́ wá ṣe olóde, ẹlòmíì padà, bí láyé ṣe wà nìyẹn. The world is revolved, people move around daily, on a daily basis. And on the time we say that ìlú tá à ń pè ní Nàìjíríà yìí tá a bá tẹ̀ mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀, nítorí pa wà ignorant, because many of us were ignorant àtẹ̀mí náà, but nígbà tí bàbá Akíntóyè wá jáde táwọn tẹ̀ sí wa létí pé àwọn àti Nàìjíríà làwọn jọ ṣe second republic as a senator, but Nàìjíríà ń ṣe country tí a lè, kódà mo ní meeting tí mo bá prof ṣe ní literally 2 weeks ago now, à ń reference nǹkan kan tí wọ́n pè wá fún sí meeting yẹn, àwọn tó mú complaint kan wá, àwa ní Nàìjíríà, prof ní àníyé máa fi Nàìjíríà ṣe ẹ mọ̀ kíyàn máa fi Nàìjíríà ṣe example pé kò ń ṣe country ta lè máa lò rárá, because kò gádà, kò stable, nothing is working. Kò sí iota of nothing tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ níbẹ̀, kò sóòtítọ́ kankan nínú Nàìjíríà. tẹ́ bá fẹ́ mọ̀ ṣẹ́rí tá a bá máa ń complain gbọ́n àwọn videos yẹn sometimes kò tẹ̀ ẹ mọ̀ pé àwọn àtẹ̀ náà fẹ́ máa lo fídíò ní fídíò mọ́, ẹ lọ gbọ́ nǹkan tí Amechi sọ lórí Arise television táwọn tó ń jápa ó ní kílẹ̀ ń jápa fún ṣèbí 9 to 5 lẹ́ ń lọ ṣe but tó bá wà nínú bíbá you can become a governor, you can become a senator, you can become anything. Kódà ó níyàn lè máa ta mọ́ínmọ́ín fún yàn ṣé 1 million kọ́ ló pàbí 10 million kò dẹ̀ make owó ẹ̀ but kò sọ repercussion ẹni tó fẹ́ ta mọ́ínmọ́ín yẹn tí agbèrò lè dé àbí kankan lè ṣẹlẹ̀ kọ́ dẹ̀ máa mú ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ lọ. Mo ní Nàìjíríà yìí ṣé mọ̀ pé ẹ hàn pé tó lọ sí London tó ń gbé níbí tó lọ Nàìjíríà ṣé mọ̀ pé Nàìjíríà nísìn ó kọ́ ti láìfẹ̀ tó jẹ́ kó lò nílùú òyìnbó tó bá jẹ́ pé ṣé mọ̀ pé tó bá jẹ́ pé kò kúrò nílùú yìí ẹ gbọ́ mi dáadáa tẹ́ pé ó kàn ń sùn ó ń jí ó ń sùn ó ń jí tó travel anywhere according to WHO World Health Organization wọ́n ní ìyẹn gbọ́dọ̀ pé 80 years old kódà kẹ́ máa ṣàṣẹ́ nìyẹn. And I'm telling you from the fact that so many cases ni àwọn èèyàn gbé wá bá mi ẹni tí wọ́n ń ṣe jàǹbá fún ní Nàìjíríà tó wà nílùú yìí I'm aware of it tó yẹ pé jàǹbá gidi but ó sì survive ó sì wà ní ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ yìí àwọn bíi méjì tó jẹ́ àwọn family mi ló kọ̀ mọ́ tí mò ń sọ yìí jàǹbá tó ṣe fẹ́ nìyẹn láti almost 10 years old tó gbé wá Nàìjíríà ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ yìí life experience ni o má fi ṣeré ìrìn àjò tá a gbé dání nǹkan tó ń ṣe Yorùbá nation àwọn èèyàn ti gbé wá bá mi tó ti complain oríṣiríṣi different catalogues of problems ló ń wá sórí desk mi mo wá wonder pé it was a good thing pé mo sọ pé mo fẹ́ ṣe kínní ní full time ní 3 years ago because níbo nìyẹn máa ti ní time yẹn tó bá yẹ pé mo fẹ́ lọ ṣiṣẹ́ night nísìn ṣé máa jókòó sí bíbá yìí nísìn máa rojọ́ tó bá yẹ pé mo lọ ṣiṣẹ́ láàárọ̀ ọ̀la ìwọ̀nba ni máa lè ṣe nígbà tó bá yẹ pé mo fẹ́ lọ resume iṣẹ́ láàárọ̀ ọ̀la but ọba adẹ́dà ọba tó dá gbogbo wa ó ti mọ ìrìn àjò tó lúkálukú máa rìn. mo ń bá cousin mi kan sọ̀rọ̀ ní Preston lọ́nà Manchester láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ tí bá sọ fún yín pé in 2 years ẹ̀ máa ti ọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ kò ń ṣe pàjà do òun àti ìyàwó mi bá mi ọjọ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀ bọ̀ mo gbọ́dọ̀ pé nítorí pé àǹtí ẹ̀ lẹ́ni tí mo sọ pé ó kú tí mo sọ pé àǹtí wa kan kú ní London in 2 years nígbà tí mo pè mo apologize fún ni mo ní kó má bínú ó náà mọ̀ ó ní ìkànsí tí mo gbé dání iṣẹ́ tó heavy ni. That is how this Yorùbá nation tó ti gba time lọ́wọ́ mi in 2 years èmi àti ọ̀ tí fojú kanra débi pàtẹ́ fi sọ̀rọ̀ bọ̀ ṣé gbà tí èyí tó jáǹtì ẹ̀ tí mo dẹ̀ mọ́ jáǹtì yẹn ṣé ó gbọ́dọ̀ tún kú kì í má tó wá pèsè ẹni pé èèyàn máa di aláṣẹ jù gbà ó tún gbọ́ pàǹtì mi tẹ̀ kú yóò bá tẹ̀ ń ṣe Yorùbá nation ṣọ́ ni kò má pe family ni. That is how busy this movement have taken my own time. Ìyẹn làwa máa jáde ẹni tó wà labroad tí a rò pé ẹ̀yin láti tún ní understanding tá a gbé dání ẹ̀yin gangan lẹ wá tún castigate ìrìn àjò yìí jù. Mo ti sọ fún wa pé according to World Health Organization bóun ẹ̀ kó lọ sí mọ́ṣáláṣí kò ní òfé ẹ̀mọ̀ pa a máa ń deceive ara wa mo máa re kúrò lórí mi no the lifespan ọmọ Nàìjíríà ní pé 54 years old kẹ́mi tó bọ́ lára yín gbọ́ mi dáadáa you will not be up to 54 years old and I pity a lot of the generation ẹ̀yin the 20s because lọ́kàn yín a máa dàgbà a máa darúgbó nínú Nàìjíríà yẹn you are joking kò lè possible you are joking kò ní possible because it is a country that doesn't respect the lives of human beings they people might respect the life of the dead. We hope that the governor will do what he's saying, especially from family àwọn tó ṣaláìsí. But I don't trust them. And I'll tell you why. Ìyá wa kan wà lórí program tọmọ wọn ṣaláìsí nínú Sisoliso plane crash àgbé wọn wá ní after the 18 years anniversary. After 18 years Nàìjíríà ò tí ì rí kankan ṣe láti fún wa ní justice fún kan tó ṣẹlẹ̀. So when some of you come out and say you are looking for justice in Nigeria, Sosoliso plane crash, the 16th angel, mo ti rí signal mọ́mì mi yẹn, ọmọ wọn àkọ́bí wọn ó wà nínú plane crash yẹn pẹ̀lú àwọn other family members. Ṣé mọ̀ pé àìtí rí justice kàn ṣe pé ní government tó lè investigate tó lè set up panel, but these are not government that are interested in the lives of human beings. And I'm asking us again, ṣé bá ṣe máa continue náà lélẹ̀ tí ìwọ tó wà labroad tó ní ṣèbó lè níwọ bla 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 yẹn níwọ gbé dání sọ́wọ́ à ń jáde àwa ń take a risk. Ẹ hàn pé ẹ̀yin ò gbójú síta, ojú tàwa wà níta, orúkọ wa wà níta, picture wa all over the world, and kí la gbé dání kò ń ṣe crime. A kò sọ pé kíní yìí ò work, ẹ jẹ́ káwa àtàwọn olóṣèlú wa kájọ gbé yẹ̀wò kájọ béèrè ìbéèrè, but many ọmọ Yorùbá ń sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ continue pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà. Ṣé wàá rí i pé ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn òun everyday inú oṣù tá a ṣe wà yìí, ṣé mọ̀ pé this is the beginning of the year. A máa ń gbàdúrà ní January 1st. Mùsùlùmí á ní ọlọ́màjàrí àkóbá àdábá, àṣé à ń tọ́ra wa. Mo ní 1 million people will have to die ká tó cross over. If not, we are going nowhere. We would have to sacrifice to stop the menace of the British Empire. Jàǹbá tó ṣe fún wa yẹn, we must stop it. Àwọn tí gbẹ̀mí tó pọ̀, and they are still ready to take more lives, because tí wọ́n bá fi gbẹ̀mí tó pọ̀ ni àwọn gan ló yẹ kó máa deliberate the dissolution of ìlú tó kó papọ̀ tí ọ̀rọ̀ wọ̀ yíra wa tí so many things is not working, but àwọn ṣì ní in tí wọ́n fi jẹ́ kó work. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ń lé ẹ̀ ń wo program, but ẹ máa find it difficult láti fi thumbs up sórí program yẹn pé àwa ní bíbá kúkú ní kẹtí fún wa lówó nísìn, even though a ṣe máa bèrè. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó fún wa lálẹ́ àná, kò ní tán níbẹ̀ fún yín. Èèyàn 83 ló ń wò wá, èèyàn 33 ló thumbs up, àwọn tó kù bí wọ́n kọ̀ pass by ni. Èèyàn 16 ló ń wò wá, èèyàn 11 ló thumbs up. Ẹ bá wa thumbs up, ẹ bá wa pín ètò yẹn. Màá tún fi wákàtí fi kí gbogbo ìdílé kọ̀ọ̀kan tó wà affected, àtàwọn tó wà láyé, àtàwọn tó ṣì ń gba ìtọ́jú lọ́spítù, àtàwọn tó ti kú. Tẹ́ bá ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i, ẹ máa gbọ́ pé arákùnrin kan wà lára àwọn tó kú tó wá láti London. I can confirm that it is true. Kò ń ṣe fake news. Mo ti bá ya arákùnrin yẹn sọ̀rọ̀, ìyẹn Granma, torí Granma lèmi ń pè wọ́n, torí ọmọ wọn tó kù ìtì bímọ, so Granma ni wọ́n. Lótìtọ́ ni o, no bí ṣeré o. Èèyàn kan wá láti London lóòótọ́ o, tó lọ Nàìjíríà, ó lọ fún holiday, àmọ́ jàǹbá tó ṣẹlẹ̀, illegal mining tí governor pè, I don't agree with that. Ó ṣàkóbá fún family yìí ní London. I met one of the brother, not this particular one, but there was another one I met because twins ni wọ́n. Ní carnival tó ṣe ní Acne, gbogbo iná lè máa rántí carnival yẹn tí mo lọ cover tí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Amọ̀démájà tí wọ́n ṣe. I went there to cover the event. I'm sure pé ìtẹ̀bá ń tẹ̀lé wa back to back. Sister Ellen àwọn wà lórí program, àwọn náà wà níbẹ̀ níjọ́ yẹn, àti some of the other Yoruba campaigners, gbogbo àná làjọ pàdé níbẹ̀. mo pàdé ìkànnà àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n wa tí àbúrò wọn tó ṣaláìsí wọ́n fi ìyàwó sílẹ̀ wọ́n fọmọ sílẹ̀ ó dágbére báwọn lọ sí Nàìjíríà àwọn fẹ́ẹ̀ tó dé lọ́sọ fáwọn aráalé just like bí bàbá wa Gbẹ́ngà Owólabí tó kúrò ní Maryland tó sáré lọ sí Nàìjíríà àwọn fẹ́ẹ̀ tó dé lọ́sọ fáwọn aráalé bọ́dì wọn lọ gbé padà wá sí America. I don't know what will happen bí wọ́n máa gbé bọ́dì brother wa ìpadà wá àbí wọ́n máa sin wọ́n sílé. I don't have all the details but kakọ bẹ̀ Ọlọ́run pé kí ọba Elédùmarè kó bá wa rọ ìyá náà lójú kó bá wa dúró ti gbogbo mọ̀lẹ́bí náà kí a má rí tẹ̀léńtẹ̀lé. She was very strong when I spoke to her. I guess it will take some time to reflect. Odindi ọmọ là ń sọ nísìn kò ń ṣe adìyẹ kò ń ṣe màálù kò ń ṣe gùnfe. We're talking about a human being. Níbo ni ìyá èdè fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀? Irú kí la lè sọ fún wọn? Àfi ká sọ fún ọba Elédùmarè pé kó bá wa rọ̀ wọ́n lójú àtàwọn tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí nílé. Kò wá ń ṣe ilé nìkan ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lójoojúmọ́. Ẹni kan ló mọ̀. Ṣé mọ̀ pé nǹkan á máa dùnyàn jura wọn lọ? Ìyẹn mo ṣe máa ń sọ pé in tó ń lọ ní Nàìjíríà lójoojúmọ́ ó ń fún wa ní breakdown, ó ń affect wa gan. Ṣé rántí pé ọmọ 13 years kan tó pa lára àwọn tó kidnap l'Abuja ọmọ Yorùbá náà gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ti ṣe gbọ́ ìkejì ń ṣọmọ Yorùbá. Ṣé rántí àwọn tó pa ní Plateau State èèyàn ni wọ́n. Why is all this happening? In ti Britain fẹ́ gangan ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀, in táwọn colonialist tó fẹ́ òun ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ because àwọn ló divide Africa. Mo máa ń kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ìyá màmá ní Ọlọ́run níjà sunkún ọmọ kéèyàn tọ́mọ dé stage yẹn ní 39 years old kí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó wà avoidable tẹ́ni ẹ bá tẹ̀ ń stọ́ọ̀kì dynamite sínú ilé, which is what they are saying. Àwárí emergency àrí intelligence kankan tó lè pinpoint pé inú ilé yìí nǹkan kan right, inú ilé nǹkan kan ti ṣẹlẹ̀. Má máa wò wá bí ẹni tí kò fẹ́ràn Nàìjíríà. Kò sẹ́ni tó fẹ́ràn Nàìjíríà. But at some point la wá realize pé ǹjẹ́ mo ti béèrè question yìí náà rí. Mo ní ǹjẹ́ Nàìjíríà nífẹ̀ẹ́ àwa báwa ṣe nífẹ̀ẹ́ Nàìjíríà? Because ìfẹ́ ta fi sí Nàìjíríà ò fáwa náà nífẹ̀ẹ́ yẹn padà. What Nigeria has done is rather pé kó nífẹ̀ẹ́ wa ó kọ̀ fún wa ní unnecessary problems, catalogue of problems. Tí bá ní catalogue of problems, cases upon cases of different reasons. Ṣọmọ tó kú sínú lift ní Lagos State la fẹ́ sọ. Ṣé Jùmọ̀kẹ́ Oyèlékè tó pa ní July 3rd 2021? Ṣé Jùmọ̀kẹ́ Bámiṣé Àyànwọlá òun náà má ní ìyá oní bàbá tó pa sínú BRT ní Lagos State? Kéèsì yẹn padà sí court ní February next month. Koikimedia máa tẹ̀lé wọn lọ again, just as we have stood with the family. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ pé ẹ fáwọn náà ní support so that this platform can work back to back and bring up to date bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ nílé. It's a lot of work. It needs financing. Without financing, we cannot do as much as what we will be doing. But then about the finance, it makes life easy for me. Ẹ̀yẹn fi tó kù sílẹ̀ fíìmù àti wọn. Àwa mọ bí tá ti máa sọ fáwọn èèyàn wa pé àsìkò ti tó àjọṣepọ̀ àwa àti Nàìjíríà àsìkò yẹn ti tó. Kò sí ẹni rẹ́mẹ̀dì kankan ju pé kólúkálukú kó máa lọ nílọ b'Elédùmarè ṣe dá wa. Ìyẹn míì pé àní bára wa ṣe, ìyẹn míì pa hate àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù, but for us to have a future gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Yorùbá, that future is no longer in Nigeria. Nigeria has failed us. And let me just present for the next 10 minutes so that in case tabareni tó gbọ́n kan tá sọ dáadáa, I will read it out again, that one of our grandmother that is involved fully in the Yoruba Nation movement. You must have heard about a young man that returned from London that got caught up in the blast that took place at Bodija on the 16th of January this year. He died in that incident. The mother reached out to me this morning for me to announce on behalf of the family to not just the entire Yoruba nation. Yoruba nation. This is a message to all the Yoruba nation. They want me to say the message out. That is the reason why I am communicating. And lataro, the mother spoke to me at about just before 10 or 11, I can't remember. I have to look at the time record. And since then, my whole body shut down completely. I was meant to come out for the lunch program, but I couldn't. But this is how the message came through me. Baba Kitoye, CSI Osha Chief, Koiki, Darling, Ade Omoboriowo, Adeni, Yeyedara, Baba Ekiti, Professor Wale Soyinka, and Omoluka Lady K Ifelua. This is to tell the entire Yoruba nation that I am very sad to tell you that the London returnee guy is one of my twins. I will not mention his name. That went to Ghana for his friend's wedding. Then who came back for his usual annual holiday in Nigeria was killed in the Bodija, Ibadan last week, Tuesday, the 16th of January 2024. I have been demoralized since the 16th of January 2024. I will not mention her name. I will not show the picture of these. What happened there? What have I done to my broadcast? It might be no. Okay, sorry about that. I will not show you the picture. I know the picture is already in the public domain, but I will not show you his picture. A very, very handsome guy, 39 years old. This is the picture of one of my twins that died at the Bodija, Ibadan. Came from London, but got caught up in the disaster that happened in Nigeria. All the time we pray and say that may Nigeria not happen to us. But we are lying, because Nigeria is still going to happen to us should we continue to remain in Nigeria. So even though we are praying that Nigeria will not happen to us, but Nigeria is already happening to us, and it continues to happen to us because we have all failed to say the truth to ourselves that Nigeria is not a country. Nigeria remains a crime scene, and it will remain so until we all say enough is enough. The Yorubas don't want to say enough is enough because they still believe that there is something in it for them in Nigeria. And likewise, the other ethnic groups that still believe that there's something in it for them in Nigeria. Nigeria is no longer what you think it is. For 3 years, during this campaign of the Yoruba Nation movement, we have stated it categorically that this country is no longer for me and you, but many of our Yoruba brothers and sisters, our mothers and fathers, both at home and outside the country, believe that we are against a particular set of people or a particular path because we are not comfortable. Some even castigate that we are also working on behalf of certain people. I am working for the Yoruba Nation movement. I care less about any other thing than my own people that have been enslaved and trapped in Nigeria. I now remember one of my mother that told me that I should always say that during my broadcast, even though we don't mention it all the time, that I am talking to the real Yoruba people. Don't wait for your life to be taken before you join the Yoruba Nation movement. We will not bring anybody down regardless of what has happened today, what has happened in the past. But can we forge forward, especially the Yoruba diaspora? This is not about an artist that you want to watch and you think that is the reason why you love Nigeria. It has nothing to do without any of the artists. I'm aware that there's one coming towards the end of this month, and I can assure us that it will be a total full locked up at the venue where it's going to be playing. I'm not going to mention his name. I'm aware that there's another one coming in February. This is not the reason why we say we don't love them. We love them. They are Yorubas. But what we don't want to associate with anymore is Nigeria. Because the word Nigeria was coined by Lugard and Flora Shaw, his girlfriend, working as a governor administrator on behalf of the British Empire in 1914. And 110 years, because Nigeria became 110 years old on the 1st of January 2024. Our grandparents, and I'll tell you that I spoke to one of our leader on the state level. I've now been given all their numbers as an updated version after the movement was interrupted and infiltrated. So I have all the state from Lagos up to Kwara, those that we can reach out to on the ground, those that I am aware of, and the new ones. So I spoke to one of our father. He was very pleased to speak to me. I'm not going to mention his name. He's currently out of the country, somewhere very far away. And he was telling me that we still have a father that is 105 years old. As I speak to us, Baba Kanwa Atoni is 105 years old and is currently still alive. 105 years old. The question then is, even Taba play it back, I'm sure it will be more than that, but Emo, because there is no record of birth during that time. If we pull it back a little bit, that means this, our father, is older than Nigeria. He's alive, from what I'm being told today. So why are we trying to fight? I want to try to fix in Nigeria, but the Fulanis are trying to bring chaos, menace, atrocities, kill the economy, kill the welfare, kill the people. So, who has sense among every one of us? Sha awala ni brain, because we want to fix a country that the Fulanis, terrorists, doesn't want to fix. So, how do we work together? Báwo la ṣe fẹ́ bára wa ṣe? We have those that also have interest on our territory, whether they are the Igbos, whether they are the other ethnic groups that also have interest on the land. what do? Do we continue to live in denial because we don't want to upset each other? Or should we say that we can break away from this menace and allow people that we think that wants to live with us, just like I have lived with the British people for the last 2 decades, and I have lived in accordance to the laws and constitution of this country. And if I commit any crime, I will be penalized subject to the constitution of the system. But today, àwa Yorùbá náà fi fix Nigeria. Àwọn tí à ń bá tayò, àwọn ò fi fix Nigeria. This is why Baba Akintoye said years back that àwọn tí ṣe pẹ̀lú Nigeria. He was a senator of the Second Republic while they were working tirelessly to make sure that Nigeria becomes the global power of the world. These northerners were asking them questions that, kí ni problem ẹ̀yin? Just enrich yourself and enjoy as much as you can and take as much as you can. Then at 88, Professor Adebanji Akintoye is now advising our Yoruba of the danger ahead, but rather we now see some Yoruba people saying ọ̀nà tó ń gbà yẹn làwọn like, bó ṣe ń ṣe yẹn làwọn nífẹ̀ẹ́, rather than us to come together and defend and fight these atrocities and monsters that are being used as proxies, because the West are the one using the proxies of the terrorism against us in Nigeria. They are fully aware of the current state of things in Africa. That is why the French were pushed out. I was reading an information that I picked up that the same President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is now trying to work security with the French government. The same French that Niger pushed out, Mali pushed out. We are now seeing them as our savior to come and help us and tackle insecurity. And I keep asking myself, I hope there's nothing wrong with us as people, because the same people that created problems in these African countries are the same set of people that we are now calling to come and help us. Let me remind you of what Prof said again some years back, courtesy of Sahara Reporter. Prof told us that should we continue to live in Nigeria, it will not favor us, it will not work for us, it will rather bring some pain either towards our old age or when we are young. I pity many young Nigerians that are hoping and thinking that there is still a future for them in Nigeria. There is no longer any future for us in Nigeria. That future is gone. That future is dead. What we should be talking about right now is nothing more than the disintegration, the breakup, the dissolution of Nigeria. Nigeria is not going to work. If you are still a diaspora, whether born or whether japa to live abroad, and you are still one of those that believe that Nigeria will succeed, maybe because your church, your mosque is giving you such narrative, I want you to play back and ask, What do I tell our grandmother that the son got caught up in the blast that took place on the 16th of January 2024? He doesn't live in Nigeria. He was only in Nigeria for holiday. Throughout December, I went on and on based on the European countries, Great Britain, America, telling us to tell you not to visit certain places in Nigeria. But yet, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wa, they didn't heed to those warnings. They went further and do what they want to do. I cannot tell you what to do and what not to do. But what we are saying that we should all be doing is to come together now and say we've had enough of the atrocities committed in Nigeria against our people. Nigeria has done much more damage in our lives, and it is not going to change should we not stop it. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, if we don't allow Nigeria to dissolve, Nigeria would eventually dissolve each one of us, and it will be painful. We can still end it without Nigeria ending us. There is nothing we can do to change the narratives. There's nothing we can do to try to bring the dead back, like our brother that died at this incident. But what we can do is to all come together and say it is not about politics anymore. There's no amount of politics that can resolve these kind of atrocities. Number one, you're working with a constitution that would never favor any single one of us. Nigerian constitution is a total failure, and it remains so like that. Nigerian constitution is against us. Let's see if I can pick on this first.
Living in Nigeria and Ghana, the British colonies were filled with British officials who have been stranded in Nigeria since the beginning of the war in 1939 and who are now returning home with their wives and their children. So there was no place for anybody at all on any ship. And as I sat home weeping, my father decided to go and ask for the help of the Governor General. So she went to Lagos, appealed to the Governor General. She said the entire ship was filled with white people, British civil servants who were returning home with their families. There was no room for any other person. But he then discovered after a few days that there were some other.
Bear with me. I'm playing this from the old video, so I believe the audio will come back out again. While that is still coming up in a minute, I'm just giving us previews of some of what we've heard from Professor Banji Akintoye in the past regarding Nigeria. Nigeria is not going to work.
That those people were being taken to London, so where they were going to be briefed. And educated and mentored about how to rule Nigeria, how to hold Nigeria in their hands after independence. So that's our story. The story of a...
All right. Let's play the next one. Let's listen to the next one. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí pé àkó ara fẹ́ra kù.
It is their duty to know the nature of their country. And it is their duty to guide and govern it in ways that are suitable for the nature of that country. If you do not do that, you will find the country going to pieces in your hand. The architect is an artist who builds who designs a house and does not take cognizance of the important factors in the circumstance. We build a house that will collapse. What type of soil do you have? What type of material is available? What type of workmen do you have? What type of technology do you have to get things together? If you do not put all of that together as an architect, you will put together a house that will collapse. And so my summary of the weakness, the failings, the disastrous failings of leadership in our country is that our leaders have never really asked themselves, what kind of country do we have? And how do we put it together to achieve success? The result is that we have gone from the very highest of our, and it is to be wondered how much more a country can take in this handling that Nigeria has taken before it breaks up. So I have seen this country succeed a lot. In 1982, I was a young senator in the Nigerian Senate. I was also an academic.
I want us to take note of that. In 1982, Professor Banji Akintoye was a young senator, just like many of us are young today. We see him as an old man that doesn't know what he's talking about. We are now seeing him as an old man that is trying to tell us Nigeria is not working, but we don't want to believe him. But he was a one-time young man like me and you. Baba Akintoye náà dàbí ọ̀dọ́ nígbà kan rí. Àwọn náà dàbí ọ̀dọ́ bí èmi àti ẹ̀. Àwọn náà légungun of a fix in Nigeria. Wọ́n máa make Nigeria kó work. But ntí kí kò yé wọn nígbà yẹn ni pé Nigeria ò ní work because àwọn colonial rulers, they are the one feeding a lot of things that we are now saying that is not making Nigeria to work because kò ń ṣe country. Baba Akintoye in 1982 was a young, vibrant man. As at that time, we already have enough of PhD holders. I told you about another man that I am still going to bring. It's because my system is either I travel to meet him or we have to do it via, but I don't have the system to be able to bring the broadcast live. His book is here that he has already written. but I will not give you too much at the moment. He was a PhD holder as at 1982 in this country. He worked at one of the ministry in Nigeria for more than 20 years. As I speak to you today, he's here in London. Pension, nothing. They lied against him. They were the ones that moved Lagos to Abuja when they were moving the capital in one of the ministry he managed as a DG. PhD as at 1982. Studied here in UK. Just as Baba Akintoye already was a senator, young, vibrant senator. So he was the one of feminism. You are going to fix Nigeria. I'm asking you how or no, because you want to fix a country where the terrorists, Fulanis, do not care whether you're a Muslim, you're a Christian. Their own agenda is a different thing. Let's listen from another angle here, from what Baba Akintoye say here again, because that other video is not mine, but I'll just give another 1 minute before we let it go.
In the Nigerian Senate, I was also an academic, and as a result of the combination of the two, I was invited by the Republic of South Korea to give a lecture as part of the installation of their newly elected president in 1982. And I was to talk about the growing relationship between South Korea and Nigeria. And all I could say was of pride in my country. We were so far ahead of those people. All the rulers were there in the hall as I did in the Institute of International Relations and National Security as I delivered my lecture. And I was telling them, it is not only oil that we can sell to you, there is a lot we can teach.
Today, Shell has moved out of Nigeria. We thought we need oil, but Shell has moved out. I want to leave that and then go back to one of my videos that I picked from Professor again. This was 1 year ago while he was speaking to us. Let's see what is in there. This program ends in just 12 minutes. In 2 hours, we will not go to 3 hours because I'm sure you all understand. It's been a very, very emotional day for me, but I still have to come out and deliver this broadcast. I pray for the family of those affected and those that have been affected in the past and present, especially this our grandmother that lost a son at the Bodija blast. So when it's coming up to 2 hours precisely, I will bring this program to an end. So literally we have just about some 20 minutes or thereabouts to the end of the program. Did you hear that? Our Yoruba wa ni danger gan. Baba Akintoye, this video was 1 year ago. I'm going to share it back out to the social media for those that wants to go and listen to it, but we're going to listen to a little bit more. I don't know whether you can hear it from the laptop or maybe I should just pick it up from the device here, but let's see. If you cannot hear it, please let me know, then I'll switch things around so that we can hear it from the system here. Or maybe I should just say, I think this one is a little bit much clearer. We pray for the family and we sympathize with those that have passed on. But like I said, who is the next person? We don't know. Let's listen from here.
jákèjádé gbogbo ayé mo kí yín pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ mo sì kí yín pẹ̀lú àdúrà ní ọkàn mi àti lẹ́nu mi gbogbo ìgbìyànjú yín lọ́lọ́run àmà bless níbi tẹ́ bá wà o. ṣẹ́ẹ̀sì ìtọ́jú ọlọ́run àtọ́jú wọn a kó gbogbo yín padà pẹ̀lú bí àtayọ̀ wá sílẹ̀ Oòduà gbàtà bá ní kọ́ńtì ara wa. Mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín fún gbogbo bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń dìde sí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá self-determination. Àwa Yorùbá wà ní danger gan o, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nínú wa ò mọ̀. Tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ pé politics pé ká fi politics dá wọn lójú ká win election ká níwọ̀n win ká dàrú mọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́ ká bàbá wa Awólọ́wọ̀ win ní 1959 win 1979 win 1983 wọ́n ní kò win. Abiola tún wá win alàgbà wa Abiola náà tún wá win ní 1993 wọ́n tún ní kò win àbí so gbogbo wọn yẹn wọ́n ti wá rí wípé àwọn Yorùbá yóò ní ṣe tẹ̀ wọ́n lẹ̀ o àfi tá a bá kúkú pa wọ́n rẹ́ so àwọn Fúlàní ti ń ṣèpàdé ó pẹ́ tí ti ń kó àwọn Fúlàní mìíràn jáde tí ó kì í ṣe ará Nàìjíríà pé ká máa bọ̀ wá bá wọn suppress àwọn indigenous.
Listen carefully to 1 year ago. I picked up this video at random. It's on my YouTube channel. I've just gone there and looked for many videos that Babakete have spoken. I don't even know what he has said here, but I said it just, the headline says a message to all the Yorubas. And what happened in Ibadan, what we have been told is that they are foreigners. Don't be peluwa, ni wako explosives in Ule. Look at the damage. Look at up to 250 meters from the bomb blast or the explosion. Properties were destroyed. The question is, who is the next victim of Nigeria? Let's listen more to Professor Banja Kitoye. Like I said, this program ends in 20 minutes.
People who are Nigeria, especially the Yoruba. Imagine how Tanawa danger to face in Nigeria to face in Yoruba in Nigeria.
Did you hear that? The danger that we are facing is not one, is not two, is not three. It's a catalog of problems. Whether you are in diaspora or not, you will be caught up in that danger. Even though we might pray that we don't. But we are lying and we are living in denial. We will all be victims at some point.
I'm not trying to first self-determination struggle. That I bear be dear nanny. But we are best in so far one day. Am I better? So sit up and fair country. Òfin ìjọba ayé fún yín ní agbára láti sọ kò sẹ́ni tó lè mú yín kò sẹ́ni tó lè fìyà jẹ yín táwọn ọmọ wa dẹ̀ jáde tán bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sọ lóòótọ́ tó wá di nǹkan ńlá tí a lè gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wa ní diaspora táwọn náà dìde wọ́n tí gbogbo ayé bẹ̀ wá gbúrò wa. Ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run lágbára ẹ̀ à ń ṣe press conference à ń ṣe rally kéékèèké tá a lè ṣe. À ń ṣe ìpàdé oríṣiríṣi à ń ṣe zoom meeting tí gbogbo ìlú máa wá láti gbogbo ayé àti ohun gbogbo wọn yẹn là ń ṣe gbà wọn yẹn but Ọlọ́run ti rẹ́dì kan tó máa sọ nǹkan tá à ń ṣe bí ńlá nǹkan ibi tí ńlá yẹn dẹ̀ ti wá ṣẹlẹ̀ ní pé ọmọ kan tó ń pè ní Sunday tó wá láti ìlú Ìgbòho tí àwọn èèyàn wá ń pè ní Sunday Ìgbòho ó wá yọjú sí wa. Ọlọ́run ti kọ́ sí lára pé ọmọ ìlú máa sọ nǹkan tá à ń ṣe èdè ńlá. Wíwá tó dẹ̀ wá lóòótọ́ àṣẹ Ọlọ́run bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣẹlẹ̀ pé wíwá ẹ̀ wá sọ ìjà tá à ń jà náà di ńlá rẹpẹtẹ. Ó wá di pé tá a bá fẹ́ ṣe rálì kì í ṣọ̀rọ̀ 100, 200, 500, 1000, 2000 mọ́. Ó wá jọ̀rọ̀ 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. Ọlọ́run nìkan ló lè ṣe nǹkan tó tó yẹn. Ọlọ́run gbé Sunday wá ó dẹ̀ wá sọ ìjàgbara wa náà di nǹkan ńlá rẹpẹtẹ. Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ìdí ẹ̀ nìyẹn nígbà tí wọ́n sọ pé wọ́n mú ní Benin Republic tí èmi àti Professor Adeniran wà ní Benin Republic. That we decide we are going to stay here until we see him released. Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ ṣe ó gba ìlérí wájọ́ yẹn. Sunday to free. And Sunday ní àwọn ìwà tó máa ń yà mí lẹ́nu. Ọlọ́run máa mọ̀ rán sí Yorùbá ni. Èké ní ìwà ìrẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ní ó ga jù. Kò sí ẹni tí Sunday ò ní respect. Gbogbo yẹn. Èkejì ó ní ìwà wípé ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ ìjàngbara ó sàn sọ ṣèpàdé kan láìpẹ́ yìí. Ó ní gbogbo ẹni tóun bá ti mọ̀ pé ó ní ìfẹ́ sí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá gbogbo wọn lọ́rẹ́ tó mú. Òun ò bá yàn kankan ṣọ̀tá kankan. Sẹ́ni kankan tóun lè sọ pé kì í ṣe èèyàn ní gbogbo ẹni tó bá fẹ́.
The link is out in case you want to watch the full clip of that video. Once again, as we are winding down this special broadcast to console, sympathize pẹ̀lú gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, for everyone tó ń gbé ní Bodija, abẹ́ ọba Elédùmarè kó jọ nínú ọlẹ́. I was also told that one person died. It was not at the incident, but he died of the shock. We pray for all the souls. We pray for those that are still receiving treatment. We appreciate everyone that worked tirelessly and those that are still working within the confinement of these incidents in Ibadan. The Koikimedia team will continue to report from that site. We have 48 hours before the week of the incident that took lives. Properties were damaged. You could only go and see the drone footage. We will be back on that site to continue our reportage for many of our brothers and sisters and the diaspora and those that are outside Ibadan, so that you can be able to watch what is still happening a week after. We would also continue to pray that many lives that have been lost in today's contraction country we call Nigeria, many blood that has been spilled, regardless of wherever they are across the country. We hope that those blood will continue to cry to our Creator, Tiwa, our own gods, or the one that whatever you believe in, to fight on our behalf, to give us the opportunity to remove the fear that is in us, because that is the only thing that we are now fighting against. They are fearful of the unknown. And I'm now going to continue to tell us that we will lose about 1 million people, whether we like it or not, to succeed on this movement. How that is going to happen has already started. We have been losing more people. So when we calculate people that have died in that territory that shouldn't have died for the negligence of so many things, we will notice that these are also people that should have been alive, but they got killed or died. We will not forget Adogon and Alhaji Fatai. These are two heroes that the federal government that wanted to assassinate. I will be talking about that tomorrow. I don't want to mix this with the broadcast tonight. That we are now getting information that they were meant to assassinate Nnamdi Kanu, according to Femi Adesina. It is the same way they wanted to assassinate Oloye Igboho, but Igboho succeed the attack just at the very, very speed of sound. But Adogon and Alhaji Fatai were both murdered by the Fulani under the Yoruba man Professor Osibajo, Yemi Osibajo. Both himself and Buhari were in power when Adogon was killed or murdered, because he wasn't killed, he was murdered. But I don't want to go into the details of how that happened in terms of, because the family is still alive. So I'm very, very careful when I talk about Adogon and Alhaji Fatai. These two individuals were both murdered right inside the resident home of Dr. Oloye Igboho on July 1st, 2021. Till date, Igboho continued to ask the bodies, yet nobody is giving us exactly whether they've been buried or they've just chucked them into a mortuary for the last 2 years. As we speak tonight, let us pray for the wife, the mother of Adogon, and likewise the wife and the children of Alhaji Fatai. These two individuals are still, the bodies are still not with us to be given a proper burial. But let me assure us all that the burial arrangement for our mother, Mrs. Adeyemo Igboho, will take place next month. We are all coming down. We are all Igboho. We will bury her right inside Igboho town. 22nd, Thursday, is the wake keeping in Igboho town. 23rd is the burial. Friday, we are coming. Nothing is going to stop that arrangement that is already in place. That is all I can say. Once again, we pray for these family and the many families that are already in distress, and so many of those that are struggling. The amount of people that are reaching out, crying for one help or the other is too much, that we cannot say we should remain as one country. The country is already fragile. We need to shake it a little bit more so that we can collapse it. That will be done not just by myself or by Igboho, but that is the responsibility of every single one of us. Many Nigerians are living in denial. It is a Titanic that has sunk. Even to visit Titanic has become a risk that the world has now banned anybody trying to do any kind of exploration into the deep sea of where Titanic is. That is why foreigners are packing out of Nigeria in their droves, and they are packing, but you might probably not see them. Do not be deceived by what you see or what you read in Nigeria. It is an illusion, and it is coming down, and it seems everybody is just taking as much as what they can take. Like I said, the Titanic ship sank. Until date, nobody would dare attempt to bring it back out. You would die right inside the deep sea. Some people tried it. We saw what happened last year. Many of you that think that we are not serious, I will leave that for you to continue to say so. But one thing is, we would educate, enlighten, and remove the fear from our people on the ground. mo tún fi àsìkò yìí kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá nílé pé a kó afẹ́rakò fún ti Bodija. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní site yẹn, àwọn tí wọ́n wà ní site, gbogbo yín pátápátá là ń kí láti iléeṣẹ́ wa tá a pè ní Koikimedia. Èmi ni last man standing. We will collapse this country. It will take a bit of time, but it will collapse. How? Don't ask me. But everybody knows the end game. But 1 million people will die before we get to that final destination. It will happen. But we will stop without saying. There is still room for diplomacy. But if all diplomacy failed, we should all go and prepare for war that will eventually lead to the collapse of Nigeria. It will be a very, very enduring time. We are already enduring it now, because how do I say to a grandmother in her 70s to give birth again and raise that child to become 39 years old when we could have avoided the death of her son? So some of you that say that there will not be a war, I'll probably say there will not be a war if that diplomacy happens in time. If all that failed, we should all buckle up and prepare our deep mind with Ogun Lamafi Ende. It will happen. Nigeria will collapse. We are getting closer. It might take more years to get it all ready. No amount of plead would happen when we say it starts. Our other brothers are pushing from their side. They can push ahead of us, but one thing is, everybody knows the end game of Nigeria. Don't be deceived by the Western world. They would only evacuate those that hold the passport to their country. They will not determine our fate. United Nations is as useless as tissue paper. If you're waiting for United Nations to come and resolve our problem in diplomacy, you will not get Yoruba Nation in our lifetime. But when we hit hard the fragile country, the Security Council will be called. Then they will bring us all back again to the round table so that we can dissolve Nigeria. Nobody gives you freedom without a fight. Let everybody prepare that in their mind. Ogun Luma Ende, to stop this menace of the atrocity against lives of our people. I am OLAYOMI KOIKI of Koikimedia, and this is how we end the program on a Sunday evening. I pray once again, we kojoku jinosira kamariku odomonile Yoruba. But for me, I know it is just that. It will happen again. Tell Babajide Sanwo-Olu to increase the security of Lagos State. There is a credible intelligence with me. Lagos is going to be bombed. We can avoid it if we pull out as much resources so that we can save lives. That would be a very, very terrible situation if it happened. It will be much more bigger than Ibadan. Don't joke with this. Tell the governor to increase the security. It is a credible intelligence. It is very, very imminent. And I'll leave it like that. A very good morning, good evening, and good night. God bless Yoruba land. God bless Biafra. God bless Ambazonia. God bless the Scottish and the Welsh people, and everyone that wants to be free from the captive of whatever country that was locked together by the British and the European countries in 1884. Good night.
That's